Guys, this is Monday morning out here at Kaplan Cycles. We got another trailer load for you. This is from my buddy Gabe from Ridgefield. He's got a huge collection of classics and he wanted to sell a few of them, so we took a Baker's half dozen off of them. Let's see what we got, James. First one off the fun bus here. This is a really, really rare piece. This is a Rickman Matise. If you know anything about the Rickman, well, it's synonymous with high performance motocross, road racing, and desert racing. In particular, Steve McQueen made him kind of famous because Steve McQueen bought one and put his engine inside of it, Triumph engine. That's how they started off. And then by the early 70s, there was a real calling for a turnkey unit. So they started out with Zundap engines, and then they upgraded to this Montesa 250. In fact, this one right here was featured on a Discovery reality show where we actually restored this bike here, did a frame up on it on TV. So kind of a long story behind that, but let's roll her off and take a close look at it. If you look at the quality and the fit and finish, this is a 50-plus year motorcycle. The original chrome on the rims, the aluminum engine cases, the nickel plating on the frame. That's the original nickel plating. It's a little bit dull because it's 50-something years old, but that's original. The fact that it's lasted that long, but we'll have her fired up in no time. Check out this 50-year-old DeBruiser. It's an original, period correct crossbar pad so you don't smash your teeth out if you case a jump. But big giant exhaust on it. Show them this side here. It's got the exhaust is like a bazooka on this thing. But yeah, these were highly collectible desert and motocross sleds. They made one with a Triumph 650 engine. I think that's the one Steve McQueen had in his. But yeah, very, very cool piece of moto history. Next one off the fun bus is a really super rare, iconic piece. This is the bike that was in the movie On Any Sunday with Steve McQueen. We mentioned him about the last bike. This is the actual model that they rode in the desert. The Enduro 360C. C stands for competition. Him and Malcolm Smith both rode these bikes. And if you take a close look, this is all original, guys. 880 original miles on this bike. And it is as close to, well, a time capsule as you'll ever find. It has original upholstery on the seat, original paint on the tank. This bike, Steve McQueen's sold at auction for $35,000, and his was like a rusty piece of crap that was beat up and left in a shed. Another one sold for $25,000, and several sold in the 16.5 range on Mecum. I just checked the completed auctions. So the ones that sold for 16.5 were restored, not original ones. This was originally owned by one of the benefactors of the museum who lent a bunch of bikes to the museum when we first opened. He decided he wanted to sell it. So we auctioned this bike off a few years ago to my friend Gabe. I think it was $14,500 that he paid for it. And it's back again. It's just a little dusty from sitting in his private collection. So we're just gonna give her a bath, get her tuned up, fired up, and this one will be coming up for sale real soon. But super rare, iconic piece of motocross history. True Swedish craftsmanship here. Come around this side, show them the pipe on this thing. Look at how long the silencer. It's one of the longest silencers I've ever seen on a dirt bike. The Enduro 360C was considered outrageously fast for its day, competing against the big heavy 4-stroke Triumphs and BSA singles and twins. And it has a two-speed gearbox, 4-speed dual range. So you have 8 potential gears. And the speedometer says 120 miles an hour on it. It's definitely good out of the box for 80, 85 miles an hour, and it could be geared to go even faster for highway or desert stretches. Check out the original paint on the tank here. This tank was chromed and then painted. You can see where the paint ran through from this, wore through from the seat rubbing against, and it's a chrome behind there. So they chromed the whole tank, then they paint it, and it's original, which is unheard of. Really fine piece of moto history here. Guys, it was 28 degrees this morning when we came out. Thankfully, in spring in New England, when the sun comes out, it immediately gets up to like 50. So I'm taking this FXR jacket off. But without this jacket, I actually have 2 of them, I probably would have froze to death this winter because we ride every single day. Little shout out to the boys at FXR for giving me the best jacket known to man. The other one, Christy bought me for Christmas, and I absolutely love it. The other one is a snowmobile jacket. This is more of an all-purpose jacket, but they're super comfy. This is the Podium jacket, and yeah, my snowmobile jacket has a removable liner. I'll have to show you that one later, but this one, I don't want to get it dirty. I'm going to put it right here. Guys, feast your eyes on this absolute monster right here. This is a Rokon 360 automatic, and Rokon, if you're not familiar with the name, they originally started in the 1950s with a 2-wheel drive model called the Rokon Trailbreaker, which had big balloon tires on it, and it would pretty much they actually float and they'll pretty much go anywhere. But they said they wanted a real motorcycle, a two-wheel machine that could compete in enduros, and they built this to compete in the international 6-day trials, which they won 4 medals in 1973 and backed it up with a handful more in 1975. And it had a lot of firsts. Some people think maybe Honda had the first automatic. No, it was Rokon had the first automatic motorcycle, and some other firsts. The first bike to ever had disc brakes on it, the first off-road bike with disc brakes, and also the first bike with mag wheels on it. So they were a progressive company with a lot of cool ideas. And unfortunately, like Cannondale and other American companies, they went bankrupt trying to create something that was better than the competition. But this engine, if you look closely, if it looks familiar, this is a SOX engine out of a 360cc snowmobile. We all know how powerful the snowmobiles are. Well, this was rated for 37 horsepower back then. They made a flat track version, which if you punch in Rokon Flat Tracker, you'll see a video I have on that one online too. The Rokon Flat Tracker actually got a 5th in the AMA Nationals in 1975, competing against all the factory teams on a production-based model, which is pretty cool. But this engine is a 4-port design, had 1 intake, 1 exhaust, and 2 transfers, and it is pull start, and it has an automatic transmission with that centrifugal clutch. So and it's a 2-stroke, so it's got lots of power, lightweight, and it's designed to go 6,000 RPM all day long in the snow. So you know it's going to be durable for off-road. Stay tuned. We'll do a video of us ripping around on this one later. Guys, this one should need no introduction. Check it out. This is the Rupp TT500. This is the first version of the Rupp that came from the factory with full suspension, front and rear, a chrome upswept pipe, and it has 197cc to come. So it's almost 200cc 4-stroke engine with this little racing intake there with a Delorto carburetor. This is introduced in 1968. This one is in absolutely beautiful condition. Had the chrome tank, this nice pattern on the saddle, chrome fenders, chrome covers. This one came with the crash bars on it. It's got a headlight and a taillight, so you can rip it down the street at night. And super cool classic that we'll run it through the detail shop, get it dialed in and cleaned up, polished up to the 9s. Has the original Rupp headlight on it with the Rupp 13076 part number on it. Just needs a little shine up and should be ready to roll into the museum. Cool piece, huh? Guys, look at this absolutely stunning classic. This is a Honda Trail 70. When Honda came out with the Z50 monkey bike, they were insanely popular, but they were really small. They had tiny tires and they weren't street legal. So they upped their game and they came out with the Trail 70. It was designed in 68 and then finally introduced in 69. They made them all the way up to 1982, literally hundreds of thousands of these. And this particular version is, well, 72 cc's, capable about 40 miles per hour. And it was street legal, like one of the first dual purpose bikes where you could ride it on the trail with the trail tires. And it was small enough you could put it in the back of the minivan or on the back of your camper. And most of them got ridden into the ground. This one's been preserved and beautifully preserved, and it's in mint condition. It's showing 69 miles on the odometer, which I got to do some research. I don't know if that's the original or not, but we'll find out. So stay tuned. What would happen if Honda decided to make a dirt bike, a scooter, a mini bike, and a beginner bike, and wrapped it all the best things about that design in one? Well, here it is, guys.
When it comes to rides, this one is serious fun. The new Cub, only from Honda.
Highly sought after, super rare Honda Cub EZ90. And they called it the EZ90 because it was supposed to be the easiest motorcycle ever made to ride. Just twist and go. You don't even have to kick it. It's electric start. It's a 90cc 2-stroke, so it was peppy, had plenty of power. And they even enclosed the chain final drive so that little fingers couldn't get stuck in it if the kids were riding on this or fell over or anything. So everything about it is super simple. This is the Kaplan America red, white, and blue edition, and it looks to be in really good original shape. It's been in Gabe's storage collection for a little while. The seat still looks new. All the plastics are intact. We'll put the super shine on it, get her dialed in, and dial it in the Kaplan Cycles way, paint those rims up, and we'll have her ready for prime time in no time. So this is the kind of bike if you wanted to teach a kid to ride, or if you wanted to have your wife or girlfriend ride a bike with you, this would be the one. It's super easy to ride, and it's got semi-knobby tires, so you don't have to mix the gas and oil. It's oil injection. You just put the gas in and go. First thing we're going to do is get rid of this Cooper tire. Not that I have anything against Cooper tire, but we got to clean up the look a little bit. It's much better already. Take some of these stickers off here. We'll shine it up. It should be good to go. Stay tuned. We'll be, oh, it gets even better. There's two of them. Super bulletproof 90cc air-cooled two-stroke with the CVT transmission. Makes this a bike anybody can ride. Just push the start button, get on and go. All day fun. You can take it off-road, ride it on the tar, whatever you want to do. It's this one's all red and white and looks to be all original. We'll paint up them rims, repaint the swing arm. She'll be shined up like a new penny. Stay tuned. Just to recap today's trailer load of beauties, classics, we got the Rokon 340 automatic with the pull start, automatic transmission, magnesium alloy wheel set, disc brakes. It definitely was ahead of its time. And then we got the Husqvarna Steve McQueen Enduro 360C, all original, very low miles, 8-speed dual range transmission. They're very innovative back in the day. And then we've got the most innovative. This is a frame up, complete custom design by the Rickman brothers using the Matise 250 two-stroke racing engine and the Rickman Matise chassis. That's a spectacular piece. And then the American classic, the Rupp TT500 with the 197cc, 6 horsepower Tecumseh engine. Very cool piece. Their first street legal one. Then we got Honda's Trail 70, which they sold from 69 to 82. Millions of people got their, literally millions of people got their start on this bike worldwide. On-road, off-road, that was the one the family would take on vacation, and Junior and the parents and everybody would ride it around. Then we've got the twin Honda Cubs, which was Honda's really unique. They ran this for, what, 5 years, 91 and 96, I think it was. Very cool, two-stroke, 90cc. Is it a dirt bike? Is it a scooter? Is it a mini bike? Is it a beginner bike? Well, it's all the above. And let's face it, this thing's what, 30, 35 years old, and it still looks futuristic. So they definitely were onto something. This ridge here that kind of looks like the front fender, very safety conscious, chains wrapped up in a completely enclosed case, automatic start, automatic transmission, auto lube. You don't have to mix the gas, and electric start. Just push a button and go. That was a fun. This is the best part, is we get to ride them next, right? So we're going to set them down at the detail shop, get them all cleaned up, get them to the service department, get them fully serviced, and we'll be wheeling them up and down the driveway for you guys next week. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and thank you, James, for picking them all up. God bless America.